Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about whether this is the best 1/6 scale Batman figure Hot Toys have ever produced. Thank you for all of your amazing support on the videos I've been doing with the figure here. Some of those comments were really, just beautiful to read, and I thank you all so much for watching. I don't know much about whole analytics stuff, but I do have the YouTube app on my phone, and it lets me go into my channel and see what's going on. It said that 80% of my viewers are not subscribed. That's a lot of people. So if you're watching this and if you enjoy my content, please, while you're watching this now, just hit the subscribe button, and that way you'll get notified every time I upload something, which is very often. And there's a lot of content on the channel over the last 17 years. There's so much stuff on here to watch. So dig deep and find some of the good stuff. Spent a lot of time, well, you'll see. But thank you all so much for the awesome support. There's other little things I want to mention about in this video as well, like the new Spider-Man figure that came out, the Tobey Maguire one. It's really looking forward to getting that back in my collection. I used to have the original red and blue one from Spider-Man 3 by Hot Toys, but I sold that some time ago, and I was really looking forward to adding Tobey Maguire back to the collection. But there's just too many little things about it that just bother me when I look at it, like this big seam on the top of his head that comes down to his forehead. That's the main thing that put me off getting it. Also, it's ridiculous, I'll show you. The only one that I could see on eBay that's in stock and ready to ship out is £500. 500, half a grand for this. I mean, look at the center of his forehead there. Look at that. That is horrible. £500. Now, I know that's obviously not the price of the figure, but it's just weird, man. It's not satisfactory. It's not enough of a leap forward for this figure. I don't really mind the seam, the obvious seam at the base of the neck there from when you can interchange the heads. I know it's pretty obvious, but I can look past that quite easily. It's the main culprit for me is that. It's a blurry picture taken off the camera phone here when I was watching a video on YouTube. The seam continues along the top of his head there, but just where it ends at the forehead is just hideous. Seems to be that way on pretty much all the batch 1 figures. I don't know if they'll fix it for batch 2 or batch 3. If they do, I'm all over it, because I'm hesitant though, because I have a feeling one day they'll do this one again. They've never done one from Spider-Man 2. The one I had, the old one, was from Spider-Man 3. I had the black suit as well. And I wouldn't be surprised, especially with after all the talk that's going on in the community at the moment about this figure. Wouldn't be surprised if they maybe even DX it, for a Spider-Man 2 figure, give you a beautiful diorama of all the tentacles from Dr. Octopus or whatever. I know they've done that already, but to an even more impressive extent, possibly with a DX. Or something to do with the train scene where he's stopping the train. But either way, I just have a feeling that's not the last Tobey Maguire Spider-Man we're going to see from Hot Toys. I know they're doing the black suit again, that does look good. I really want the red and blue suit back. But there's other things about it, like the blue sections on the new one from Hot Toys just look a bit too dark to me. Like it almost reads black and red sometimes when you see it in videos. But I do have classic suit Spidey. He's a gorgeous figure. I am afraid to pose him because of the material. I'm worried about it getting messed up if I bend the elbows or do anything extreme with him, so he just stands there like this most of the time. But just visually, I think this is the one to have. If you're only going to have one Hot Toys Spider-Man, you can't go wrong with the classic suit here. Absolutely stunning figure. And again, I do get a lot of questions about it, but they're by Matt Weaver at Wicked Designs on Instagram. He makes the nameplates. Really sets off the Spider-Man figure having a nice classic yellow font there. Okay, we'll get back to the proper subject here, which is the Batman figure, and if it's the best Hot Toys have done so far when it comes to all the 1/6 scale Batmans. But yeah, I'll have to wait and see what happens with Spider-Man, folks. I know a lot of you have been messaging me asking if I'm reviewing the Tobey Maguire one. I would love to, but not in the current state it's in. Especially for ridiculous money that it's going for at the moment. I'm just going to wait and see what happens with future batches. I'll have to be patient on this one and just wait and see what happens. And if some changes are made, some slight fixes, then I could definitely see myself getting it. But very satisfied with the classic suit Spider-Man for now. So I won't include the Adam West figure because I don't have it. I've never seen it in person. I'm sure it's really poseable because of the nature of the outfit and the material and stuff. I'm sure it's a lot of fun to work with. I'm just not a fan of the look of it. So honestly, just no desire to get that one. But this is the original BVS Batman, and Hot Toys are making a new one. And it does seem to be very much an improvement over the original one. The original suit here was very dark, and I had to paint it grey to make it more accurate. I had to get my custom cape because the one that came with the figure was awful, and it's a custom head sculpt by Unreal Customs as well. The one that came with the head sculpt was alright for the time, but they've definitely made some improvements, and the new one looks fantastic. So I think the new BVS Batman that Hot Toys are going to be releasing in the future, that looks like it could very well be a serious contender for the best 1/6 scale Batman Hot Toys have ever made. Just from experience with this older version, how poseable it is, and hopefully it will be the same situation with the new one of these from Hot Toys, but the crunch in the torso there is very good on this Batman as well. You're able to get him to look forward and look backwards, or lean forward and lean backwards. I've had a lot of fun posing this one over the years. I mean, who knows, maybe the new body will be even better than this one, because this was a great body. I was able to get him in some really cool poses, like holding onto his sniper rifle. Check out the old showcase video on that when I first got this. And unfortunately, no version of Batman Begins by Hot Toys could ever be considered, for best 1/6 scale Batman figure they've ever done. But a lot of people are saying hopefully InArt will do this Batsuit and do it justice. I would love to see that. It deserves it. I mean, this is a heavily customized figure. It started out as a Hot Toys figure, but the head sculpt's custom, the cape's custom, the gauntlets are different. It's a beautiful piece. If Hot Toys do take one final stab at this and do it right this time, because they can. I mean, there's no reason why Hot Toys can't produce something that looks exactly like this. If Hot Toys are going to take another stab at Batman Begins one day, which they probably will, I wish they'd just DX it and go all out and give us like a Ninja Bruce Wayne League of Shadows in the box, as well as a perfect Batman Begins with 2 capes. One like this that drapes around the figure to recreate many of the iconic moments from the movie. Also a beautiful base like this would be nice. That comes from a DC Collectibles Batman Begins statue, or DC Direct, I forget now. It came out in like 2005 when the movie was released. But yeah, it's beautiful. It's made out of stone or something. It's really heavy and very tough. I've had it for a long time, but it's a beautiful way to display your Batman Begins figure. But yeah, one cape like this, and then another, there he is, another shorter cape for when you want to kind of just show off the suit, or do, fighting poses and stuff, because it can look a bit silly if you've got his fists up and an aggressive mouth plate in, and the cape is just kind of all around him. You think if he stepped on that cape, he'd look really silly falling over it. But it's great for the more kind of theatrical, dramatic stuff. So 2 capes would be nice, a short one and a long one. And yeah, giving us a League of Shadows Bruce Wayne as well in the DX set. And a nice little, I don't know, just loads of little ideas. We've seen that they can do the thing with the display with the bats all around the figure. I think that was with that weird Dark Knight figure they released that was grey and blue. That's a cool idea. They could incorporate that into one of their future Batman Begins pieces. Kind of feel like this is the best Hot Toys 1/6 scale Batman to date. And I know there's an argument to be made for the various DX Dark Knight figures from the Nolan trilogy, but like I said, it's those elbow pads. It looks ridiculous when you bend the arms. They're not supposed to look like that. I know a lot of people think that's a little thing, but it prevents me from ever putting my Dark Knight figure in an action pose because he looks ridiculous. See, it's just ugly and very distracting. And despite various little ideas I've had about possibly doing something here to mod it, I don't know how easy that's going to be and if it's worth going to that trouble. I know it's not an easy thing for Hot Toys to figure out. I mean, I know in the film that was basically stuck to the mesh in a way where it didn't do this. It was attached to the suit even when the elbows were bent. I've looked extensively at so many pictures that was attached. You can see it in the film in multiple points. It's part of the, it's stuck down. But this is a bit of a Frankenstein Dark Knight. It's the head sculpt from the latest DX, the neck from the Armory, the body and suit from the Armory version, and Medicom boots that don't have a separation at the ankle. It's all one piece and looks really realistic. It's awesome. So yeah, and a custom cape. Yeah, it's not perfect. And other little things like I've had to put padding in that little section there because there's too much of a drop from the shoulder pad to the beginning of his neck there, or the trap area. Just little things you have to keep doing to try and get it to look perfect. And we do have that new 1989 Batman Michael Keaton figure coming from Hot Toys in 1/6 scale, releasing sometime in the near future, I guess. But I'm not sure that could ever, when you factor in the posability stuff, I'm not sure a Keaton recreation in 1/6 scale can ever really cut it against stuff like the Affleck figure or the Patterson figure, just by the nature of the suit they're trying to recreate in 1/6 scale, or a thick rubber suit. The leg articulation, I mean, they did put some ratchet joints in this one. This came out after the DX89 version. It does have a custom cape, because the one this came with was awful. One of the worst capes I've ever seen. It was like an umbrella. It was just ugh. But yeah, visually, you can't mess with a Keaton figure by Hot Toys, but they're not the most fun for posing. That may change with the new one, but because of that nature of the suit, like I said, that thick rubber, I'm not too sure. I'll have to wait and see. I don't have a 1/6 scale 89 Batman anymore. I had one and I sold it to a very good chap, so it went to a good home. But I'll see about it in the future. Maybe bringing the 89 back into the collection. We'll see. Check out the early reviews. Make up my mind. So folks, I do feel that this is probably the best option. If you're only new to the game and you haven't got any Hot Toys figures yet and you're thinking about dipping your schnitzy in the water, I think this is a great place to start. It really is a fantastic looking figure. It just, not every figure I get has that long lasting, keeps me want to come back in the room and film something else, Sometimes I've reviewed things and I'm relieved when I hit stop on the record button for that final shot of the review and I think, thank God that's done. But this is not one of those. This is a gift that keeps on giving. It wasn't a gift. I paid 330 quid on eBay for it. I'll show you who I got it from, full transparency. Yeah, I got it from this guy on eBay. And it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't too bad, really. Compared to what the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man figure's going for at the moment, I didn't pay anywhere near that silly money for Batman. And that's an infinitely better figure. And, I'll make back a little bit of the money on YouTube that I paid for it. Not all of it, but some. Which helps take the sting out of it a little bit. But I was more than willing to get my hands on this nice and early and photograph it, and I knew it would be a lot of fun to photograph when I saw some of the early pictures. I just knew that it was going to read well on camera, and the lighting would only enhance an already fine piece. Very realistic, a lot of realism to this figure. It's really quite remarkable, to be honest with you, how realistic it looks. I mean, if you look back at some of the pictures I put on Facebook and Instagram, the close-ups of the face, the level of detail on the stubble, get a lot closer in the review. Let me just adjust the brightness a little bit. Yeah, that's just incredible work. I mean, all the little other things going on with the skin as well, like on that left side there, those little bumps and stuff, and the wrinkles on the lips. Very, very, very impressive. Whew. It looks like he's really standing there. Looks like a real guy in a batsuit. No, I wasn't showing you the guy I got it from on eBay to shout them out or anything. I just wanted to let you know that I got it from them. Just in case you're wondering if I'm sponsored by anyone or got this as a free sample or a discounted figure. None of that. This was full early from Hong Kong price on eBay. From someone I'd never bought from before, but it went well. And I'm glad I got it here quickly, because otherwise those videos you've been watching wouldn't exist. It's also important to mention, I've been thinking this as I've been going about my day, thinking I need to mention this in a video, but all the videos you've seen so far, well, no, I didn't do an unboxing, did I? Did the review, the video where I showed him all the other Batman figures, and then the showcase video, he's not been modded at all. I just switched the capes to the second one that came in the box, and that's the only thing. I didn't do any of the mods to make his shoulders look, bigger under the cape, or make his neck look longer, or the collar look wider. You can do that stuff, but this is a completely stock figure in everything that you've seen so far on the channel. And for stock, even though it's not 100% accurate, I think it's unbelievably good, really. Just a damn fine figure, folks. I should acknowledge I am aware of how possibly overly long the showcase video was on this figure. I'm sure some people watching it thinking, Jesus, Dean must love the smell of his own farts. He left every picture and every bit of footage in this video. I actually left a lot out, but it still ended up being 22 minutes long. I just loved the footage and the pictures I was getting of this figure, especially in the diorama by Cult Creations. It just really came to life. It was hard to leave any of those pictures out. So, yeah, also very tricky trying to find music for the showcase video on this figure. It had to be a very specific kind of vibe, and I used a really cool piece of music at the beginning, and you can find out the info of that in the description underneath the showcase video. But then the rest of the music was mostly by White Bat Audio, who does some fantastic copyright free stuff. Really saved my butt when it comes to music on the channel, because that's always a really big problem, copyright free music, and finding good stuff that suits the different characters you're filming. White Bat Audio is great for horror stuff, like Michael Myers, Freddy, Art the Clown. He's got you covered. But for Batman, that's a bit trickier. There is stuff out there, and the YouTube library, the audio library that you can choose copyright free music from, has a couple of good tracks that suit Batman. But it's always a challenge trying to find good music for videos like that. So when that new Ben Affleck Dawn of Justice Batman is released, that could very well be the best one. But right now, this is a serious contender for best 1/6 scale Batman figure Hot Toys have produced. It's not perfect, we know that, but it's such a satisfying piece, and the realism is just on another level. I'm sure everyone who gets this will be very happy. Thank you again for all the amazing support on the videos, folks. I really, really do appreciate it. Do subscribe if you haven't done. Just hit the button, get it done, subscribe, follow me, and I will bring you content on an almost daily basis. Very rare that I take a day off. Sometimes I tell myself I'm going to, and I end up doing a video anyway, because I like to be busy. When I sit still, that's when the old thoughts start creeping in. So if I've got something to do, something to get on with, it keeps me out of trouble. So honestly though, thank you so much for all your amazing comments on the videos for the Batman figure. It really means a lot. Just really, really great community. Such a wonderful hobby, very rewarding, and a lot of fun. Thank you guys. I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Bye bye.